Hello everyone, I'm Broughy1322 and this video will showcase the fastest cars overall in GTA 5 over the years as the power creep has progressed for both lap time and top speed. If this is the first testing video you've seen from me, check the intro video to the series to most likely have any of your questions answered, and be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on future testing of new vehicles added to GTA 5 and beyond, as well as checking out all vehicle classes in the playlist, all linked down below in the description and pinned comment. This video is brought to you by the resources area of my website. Check out info regarding my Discord server, office setup, pets, sponsors, a monthly blog and more at broughy.com/resources. So things started off so innocently with the Entity XF back in 2013 being the best car to use for races and the quickest overall when it came to lap time. While it was usurped in May 2014 by the Turismo R, they were so close that really you could use either of them. The lap times were as near as makes no difference the same, and yeah, they were basically identical in terms of performance, at least they were on the same tier. But then came the inevitable power creep, starting with the Zentorno just 2 months after the Turismo and significantly improving on the best lap times we'd seen so far, and really becoming the de facto car to use for races, and easily the quickest overall. And then that was followed by the increasingly expensive Osiris and T20 in June and July of 2015, which solidified the pattern that we've seen a lot over the years, where the new expensive car dethrones the older one by a fraction of a second for lap time, and then itself gets dethroned a few months later. The T20 was fractionally quicker than the Osiris, both of them cost around $2 million at the time, which was a lot, and the T20 came out just after, a month later than the Osiris, because they knew people would buy the Osiris and then make you buy the T20 after it. Now, it would take almost a year for the T20 to not be the quickest car in the game for lap time, with the arrival of the X80 Proto in June, only for itself to be removed from the top spot a month later in emphatic fashion by the arrival of the RE7B with the Cunning Stunts update. The addition of high downforce cars with incredible cornering abilities led to a new type of car to rule the roost from this point on, and a year later in June 2017 we got the Wagner. With its high downforce and great overall speed, it was the final, let's say, normal car to be the fastest in the entire game when it comes to lap time. You see, 4 months later, we'd get the Vigilante, and that gives us a significant bottleneck with its 55-second lap time. Even though it's due to its massive boost, it would be disingenuous to leave it out, since for the next 3 years, it would be the fastest car in the game for lap time overall. That is until the BR8 arrived on the scene and went over a second per lap quicker in August 2020, and remains the only car to ever break the 55-second barrier. No amount of HSW additions have been able to beat the BR8's sheer downforce and cornering ability, and it's held the title of the fastest car overall for a longer time than anything else so far. Now, when it comes to top speed, this took a lot longer to get a new quickest car, with the original best of the Z-Type not being dethroned until January 2016 with the arrival of the Banshee 900R, which itself was dethroned in June of that year by the 811. Both breaking, just to say anyway, the 130 mph range, but they were both pretty close. And this is an interesting change to what we saw with lap time, where we saw lots of different changes of lap time, the best lap time car in the early days. It took a long time for the top speed of the Z-Type to be dethroned. But then once again we see the Vigilante bottleneck in October 2017. For clarity, the longest standing fastest normal top speed car of the Pariah wasn't released until December 2017, so that was never actually the fastest car overall in the game for top speed at any point. And then it would take almost 5 years for the Vigilante to be dethroned, with the arrival of HSW cars to the new gen versions of the game, starting with the S95, which trounced the Vigilante by a full 10 mph. Now, it would only hold on to the top spot for a few months as the Vigero ZX came along in September of that year and went a couple of mph faster, but you always knew this new power creep wouldn't be slept on by Rockstar, and less than a year later we received the heinously expensive Stinger TT, which went a further 10 mph faster than the Vigero and almost broke 170 mph. Now it would hold on to the top spot for over a year though, until last December when we saw the staggeringly quick HSW Banshee GTS added to the game, which did surpass that 170mph barrier and does, as of right now, have the highest top speed of any car in the entire game, and any land vehicle for that matter, including boosted cars, all that kind of stuff. Now I am reusing the comparisons for this final part of the video that we saw in the last video, where I showcased the fastest cars to be added in each year, which is something I don't normally do, but these are just such good and appropriate side-by-sides to show how things have changed from when the game first released. We've got the fastest car overall back in the early days in 2013 versus the fastest car overall now for both lap time and top speed, and it's a massive difference obviously, and we've had a lot of cars stretch those boundaries over the course of time. You know, new car coming every year that's a little bit quicker and a little bit quicker, and we find ourselves now sort of 7 seconds quicker for lap time than what we did at the very start of, you know, when the game was first released. So we'll obviously see if anything usurps the current best in the next DLC, so stay tuned for the testing videos on that when that releases, but up to now this is the full history of the fastest cars in the game over time. We've gone from a 101.6 with the Enter DXF all the way to a 54.5 with the BR8, and 127 miles per hour with the Z-Type all the way to 172. Interesting that those are switched, those numbers. And yeah, it's crazy how the game has moved on. But that's everything for this video. Consider supporting on Patreon or become a YouTube member if you want to support this work and get some extra perks for doing so, such as early access to videos and other testing results. And remember to read the description for more info, comment with your thoughts, like the video if you enjoyed or found it helpful, and subscribe for more. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.